kind of gets confusing to talk about because there's so many different ways you can go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, it certainly sounds that way. And I know, speaking personally as a developer in crypto for a little while now, that I think the full power of what is behind the graph isn't always realized. I think like the immediate thing probably comes to mind is some of like the subgraph stuff, that's a little bit more out there. But they're really, and I think even like that, I feel like it was probably underutilized. Is that like what's the challenge? I guess kind of just speaking as like a DevRel and just thinking of like as talking with other developers, how has that education process been of like getting across like what's really there in that product for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think at first, the whole concept of like uh, having a middleware layer for like blockchain data made sense because all of the blockchains are not really incentivized for reads, which is something I kind of try to
Right.
explain. But when it comes down to it, like there's probably like specialized ways that you want to store the data.
Hmm.
You probably need to maybe do some analysis on the data and then actually some calculations and store that in a subgraph. So there's a lot of education on like teaching people like the proper way to do that. How to utilize like GraphQL to do things like make relationships in the data using like derived from. So there's a lot of like best practices. That's definitely a challenge.